So welcome to this episode of Catalyst UG. You're here with your host, Warren Manzi, and these other guys. Yeah, so I'll let them introduce themselves because so Richard wasn't here last time.
Other guys.
Okay. My character energy. Okay, you tell us who you are.
Alright. Hello guys. I'm Jordan Edubbe.
Yeah.
Yes, that's very much. I'm 5'11", for all those who don't know. For now, I think, but I'm still growing. We're ready to reach 6.
How old are you?
Don't worry.
You're still growing.
Yes.
sir. And
My name is Larok Timothy Matthew.
you?
I'm not sure about my height. Actually, I'm not sure if I'm comfortable sharing it.
Well, all you should know that you're taller than Warren Manzi.
Yeah, by the way, the claimed funny guy. Yeah, and I handle, I think, most of the technical work. Yeah, in the podcast. So
Yeah, so guys were asking what is Catalyst UG about. Yeah. So this one set the record straight. So just as you can see, we're just brilliant young minds. Yeah, we're going to do amazing things in this world. And for our fun time or for our downtime, we just like to have very interesting conversations, which we're now kind enough to share with you because we really want to know what your opinion is about these issues. So that's basically what we're going to be doing for the rest of our lives until we get tired of this thing. Yes. So, Edubbe, now I had like interesting just this guy gave me. Last time when you weren't here, this guy told me about how girls love it or prefer it for them to be virgins or for them to be kept pure, but they want the man that they're going to marry to have experience, to have explored all the 7 seas, fished in every lake. So when they come, they know what they are doing. They don't want beginners level. No, they have to be at least advanced. Yeah. So what are your thoughts about that?
I would like to disagree.
He did what I wanted. Because this guy put like he was cooking me and I said allow it to be cooked. You tell us,
First, I'm not objecting him. He has his right to
no,
his
no.
opinion. No, I'm not objecting. Like his right to his opinion, but
Yeah.
I'm
whether it was in my opinion, it was a direct source from a girl. Don't put words in my mouth.
Okay,
But
fine.
for the girls who have interrupted.
So
yeah.
let's take it. Let's say we are newcomers at
Yeah.
school,
Mm.
and then you get your fellow newcomer. Find out you're both newcomers, and you're taking that school whereby you don't know anything. Maybe you're called wrong, you got the wrong place, and all that. And then there's when you're a newcomer, you get to know an old student, and they direct you throughout the whole school. So if I'm to ask which of the two would be more fun,
Which are the two, like if I was a newcomer and I found
a fellow newcomer.
a fellow newcomer versus finding an old.
I think it's different.
I'm just asking.
It's different compared to this particular scenario.
Okay.
It's very different.
I'm just
different.
asking.
It's okay.
I'm just asking.
In my opinion,
Yes.
if I clicked with someone who was already there, I think I would have a much better experience fitting in.
I said which one would be more fun.
It would be more fun. I feel like the person already knows the goal.
It would be more fun.
Yeah. Because now if they already know the goal, then they already know like where to go, how to do their teacher, how to be outside of school,
You're saying how to do the teacher, where to go, all that. Where is that?
But when you're both newcomers, you're going to find yourselves being bored the word. But you tell okay, what are you trying to say?
I've never been in such a scenario. I've been new to a place. When you're new to a place,
Yeah.
and they show you this, that there's no room to explore. Who is the one that really know everything? But when you don't know, if you go to the wrong place, they tell you no, this one you're not supposed to go. When you move with your friend, probably the teacher tells you no. I remember in our S1 when we knew. He came after we finished. My friend and I saw people in the football field. So we go even on the basketball court. Little did we know that they were actually having a PE lesson. First we thought it was time for games and we came back. If somebody has taken you through, you can't have that experience.
So you feel like it's more adventurous when both of you are blacks, don't know anything.
Exactly, fine. It's more
Yes,
fun.
sir. And you defend your argument.
You get it?
Yeah.
So that's what I would say. It would be somebody who's more experienced, and then this happens, and you're like, man. Remember, first of all, you have very many expectations, and this person has already had it.
Yeah.
Let's say, you're going to make a bit things hard. Maybe they may tell you what to do, more authoritative and all that. And I feel like it won't be that.
Won't be that interesting.
Let's put it in this scenario.
Yes.
Because now we have biased we have biased the whole notion of things by talking about sexual intercourse. And I think the reason we would strongly oppose that thought is because we are Christian. But think of it from a perspective of just dating. Not even interested in sexual intercourse.
Oh, yeah.
Believe me very much, a girl would want someone who knows their way around things. Not even sexual intercourse. No. Yeah, like a girl doesn't want to be in a relationship and she's teaching you how to date her. Yes, if you're both new and you know what to do, she's also okay with that. But many times she indirectly prefers someone who has dated before because it won't be hard when it comes to things like, oh, where are we going out to? You've seen those things. It's time to go out. Then there's that guy who's asking everyone on status, in inboxes, man, guys, which good places are there around town? Which good those things happen. And people, it's an innocent thing. But now we are speaking from a point of view of many times the perceptions people be having. That's why I brought in the idea of sexual intercourse. For me, mine was a story from someone where she said she said the truth is, man, I don't want to reach there. We are in a marriage and man, the guy doesn't know what to do. We are there trying to Google what to do. Nada. Like she wants to be in a scenario where he knows what to do. Me, I'm the blessed one. I get pampered the whole thing, and he handles the whole scenario. And that's why I brought it from that particular perspective. And I think it's one of the things maybe that force people in relationships to have early intercourse. But if you ask some of our boys, I think they would know.
Is there any difference?
No difference. That you have said.
Yeah.
So the person, you want somebody knowing what happens in a relationship. That's what you said. Dating.
Yeah, they have to have experience.
Okay, may I brought in the idea of dating to make it more open. But for her, she didn't even use the idea of dating. No, it was about the idea of sexual intercourse, and she was like, "No, I want a guy who knows what he's doing. Like he has XP."
Did you happen to ask her why?
Like he said,
she doesn't want someone who's blaz. Like you reach there and you're both blaz.
Just why? Just ask her why.
And that is the reason. Because I asked her like, okay, why do you want someone who has been like in a relationship before? Like, don't you know about? Because she also knows these things about you. And this is the interesting thing is that sometimes these people are Christians and they innocently have that attitude, maybe because of the flesh, inevitably.
Yes.
For her, she's looking at sexual intercourse as something, man, I have to enjoy, and the only way I can enjoy it is when someone has experience.
No, that's the why I want it. That's the why. You get it? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But me, as I've told you, fight probably. The first time may not be good, but as just because I doubt very many, but I doubt if very many people's first times actually good. I don't know that. I just doubt because there's probably if both of you guys having a first time, it'll be good. Then, but as you're learning together, there's a way it is. How can I say? You think about it the first time you did something, you never forget. You might remember it's a file or a memory attached to you. Exactly. So imagine maybe your wife will have the memory that you're the first guy, but you won't have that privilege of having. And you look at the perfect moment. Probably you don't want to plan things out or plan stuff ahead. But you're looking at it like after wedding, you finish marriage, you're in your honeymoon, and you're breaking your virginity, or your fellow wife is also breaking your virginity. Seems like a perfect moment, I would say. Like something actually played out.
Okay, personally, yes, because I want to agree with you.
I
want to agree.
You want to, but there's some objection.
But the thing is that I actually do want to agree with you.
What?
Because, like, the thing is that what you're trying to describe looks and sounds, it makes sense, yeah? Even from I think from like a girl's perspective, yeah? I think there's some girls there who really prefer or really would love it their man kept themselves for them, yeah? Aside from the beds and the rock hands out with them, what's wrong with them?
But it's not my hands out with. Just
give it back, yeah. The ones he hands out with, clearly. You never know, but yeah. Like some things like that. Like I'm saying, all of us are in our own world.
Okay.
Yeah. So Like there are babes who want that. There's also some babes who want what you've described.
Yes.
But yeah, I think from a guy's perspective, if they're mostly a guy who has, had their own sexual encounters, I don't think it's something that they would want. They can remember the first time they had it with their wife, but I don't think it's something that they really treasure their first time with.
I think
their
it
wife.
comes down to the idea of how much is male virginity treasured. You get, because this is not something that is even preached in the church.
Yeah.
You get, even in the church when they try to preach the idea of celibacy till marriage,
Yeah.
they always bend it on the side of women more.
Okay, yeah.
Unless okay, yes,
Should I?
when you get now into fellowships,
Mm.
like your male groups and what, usually that's when, and it's married men usually who come and maybe teach you about it. Like there's actually a value in male virginity.
Yeah.
You get, because I think it's something we talked about last week. From day memorial, male virginity is not something that has really been treasured, even biblically. They don't make it seem treasured because many of the great cloud of witnesses look at people like David. Yes, they were human. That's why they fell to that sin. You get, they were adulterers, they were what. But you look in the Bible and you realize very much, oh, they never actually pinned men for like losing their virginity. So we live in this world where man, for a dude, even when he does it the first time, it's not like for a woman where it's so sacred. For a dude, what's in his head is like, man, they underperform. Like next time I should do it better. On a girl's side, for her, she feels like she's actually broken something that is very deep for her. And I think we have to go back to that place
Okay.
where we make dudes feel like, wait, it's actually a big thing. It's part of who you
Alright.
are.
So the reason why you've not really seen probably in the Bible because of that is there are two things. One, for a man, you are trusted by your word. That's why you've even seen older movies or something. Even a knight is held by their word. Even those times, kings are what, like, I give you my word, I will do this. That word was actually honored. That's what a man's honor. Second reason why men's budget, I think, wasn't really
A big deal.
a big deal or emphasized because there was no proof. A girl's virginity, there is proof.
Yeah.
In case you have a sexual intercourse for the first time, you bleed.
Yeah.
So in case I have a sexual intercourse, in case you don't bleed, yes, you've ever done it before. Simple as that. That's the reason why it was easier. And as I've told you, Deuteronomy 22 verse 22 verse 13, I believe, talked about that. That's what would happen. They say if a man got married with a girl and then like, they go, then the man comes and says, this girl you've given me is not virgin, then they will check the sheets, the bed sheets. And if he was right, they would pay the guy back.
His bride price.
I think
Whatever
yes.
he paid for that.
But if the man was lying, he was stoned to death. That's how serious it was. He was stoned to death. So the whole point is, and that's the reason why a man's word was not always taken like a word. So you could clearly say, I am virgin. That was all that was needed. There was no need for proof or what. And men grew up like that. Usually, ones who are in authority. You're getting it. That's the reason why we need to do that. But now, even as it comes now, usually people are not taken for their word. You can't trust somebody with their word unless they have to prove it. But as men, we need to change that perspective that comes about, as I've told you. That we need to tell, and usually men, we don't really talk. It's girls usually like talking and all that. You're like, Father's Day came here, and bro, can you imagine how many guys, like, I imagine you go and tell your dad, daddy this, or you tell your dad something nice, or you just tell daddy how are you or something. It's like, what do you want? You're getting it. But you can tell your mom that and she actually says thank you. That's the difference. Now men are not used to all this or what. So sit down, talk to you, or give you all that. And all that we need to tell our fellow men that they don't really. I'm not need to get the whole community and we talk about this and we say we need to emphasize men as this. Your dad can just sit you down and tell you need to make money when you grow up, you need to provide for your family, you need to be stable. And it's a 1v1 as in a family perspective. So I think it all comes down like male virginity should come from the family perspective. It's your dad to tell you that. Other than that, I don't think
So right now, can we say that dads are failing? That's why people our age, for example, have this mindset of, man, we are going into campus right now. We're just going to go and unleash any good thing we see and she accepts. We're going to sleep with that one, sleep with that one. So can you really blame it on dads again? Because I believe, yes, the truth is many of our parents, okay, maybe not many, but they're from a time also where these things haven't been given to them. So I can really, you can say that, man, they have done their part. But now it's also up to us to sit down and be like, what kind of men do we want to be? You get? And I think it's not something many people attach to manhood. Masculinity, for example, you've talked about being able to provide, being able to make money, being able to look good. You get? That's what's attached to manhood.
Yes.
You get? When it comes to an issue such as this, not being able to have had sexual intercourse looked as it's a decline, something people extract from you. Manhood, you get? Because even Christians are having this mindset. Someone will preach very many things on this and that, but when it comes to this one particular topic, it's something for some reason that we have failed to. Yeah, it's everyone has their mindset. We discuss, we argue, but everyone lives with me, I'm going to do this, me, I'm going to do this, me, I'm going to do that. So the issue is how we're going to work on that. And actually, to make it even better is thinking something we were discussing yesterday, and I think I want to get your view on it, was we sit down and say, okay, now let us say we are going to date for marriage, because that's a question I think we asked last week. Why are we dating? And someone sits down and legit says, man, me, I'm going to date to marry this babe.
Yes.
You get? And some people, because at the back of their head, they believe, after all, I'm going to marry this woman. I think I can sleep with her, right? Now imagine you break up, so you get another one. You break up.
Yes.
You get?
You're still waiting for marriage.
Yeah. You say, I'm going to marry this one. You break up. As in, at the end of the day, you're saying guys are going to, even if guys have good intention, they're going to be sleeping around. How are we going to manage that?
Managing that, I believe from the beginning, as everything, when you're setting up something, you set your targets, you set your boundaries. You're getting it? We are human. Okay? And at times, there's one key thing I want to tell you. Whenever you face temptation, let's say in your Christianity life, as you're growing, whenever you face temptation, you're like, man, when I'm facing temptation, you're feeling bad. You should feel good about facing temptation, because the devil can only tempt you if that means if you're walking with Christ. If it's not temptation, that means you're not convicted. You do something without feeling, but that means maybe the Holy Spirit is not within you. So something doesn't just spawn. It comes from somewhere. Like lust. We think lust, let's say having sexual intercourse, started from there. It comes way from far. Probably the dressing, maybe somebody dressed something like that, and you imagine it starts from the mind, start imagining that, then probably start flirting about it, start talking about it. Later on, you reach within an environment, probably staying up late, staying together within your two people alone, that maybe physical touch and all that. That's when it finally leads to that. So if you set boundaries and you say, I actually don't want this, actually we agree and we communicate. Because communication is key. Probably say today, man, the truth is, my hormone levels are actually high. I'm actually horny or something like that. Okay, fine. Then she knows. Probably now that's the issue. It's when your she has also been waiting for this moment and takes pro of you. But when she knows, and she knows probably you put your word out that you actually don't want, then she'll give you some distance. You're getting it.
Yeah.
That's the way you can be able to manage that. And as I've told you, family plays a big part, Larok, I'm telling you. Even as you're choosing a partner, if you can get the family background, because charity begins at home. There's a lot that we learn from home that we don't even realize. If you find women of these days, many of them, you find them when they're saying, man, me, I want to be independent, me, I want to be what? You ask them how home has been. Maybe they've grown up with a single mom. Maybe their parents separated. And, as I was watching a YouTube clip and it was saying, if you want to become a teacher, what happens if you go to teacher to teach? If you want to learn how to fly a plane, who do you go to? A pilot. If you want to become an engineer, who do you go to? An engineer. If you want to learn how to drive, who do you go to? A driver. Why is it that if a lady wants to learn to become a wife, she wants to learn from her single mom, but not being a wife? You're getting it?
Yeah.
You need to be among wives, then you learn how to be a wife.
Yeah.
But the people you surround with, the perspective you get, that's even your basis. There's some things you do. And
So in this scenario now,
yes,
people who are dating should not be receiving dating advice from people who are single.
yes,
From our
yes.
So what you're saying?
But people can't help it now because think of it from this perspective. Let us say, like you guys are my closest friends, let's say. Then I'm dating, but you're not dating Edubbe.
No, I'm not.
You see? No, you don't need to defend yourself.
No,
I'm just
yes,
so-
I'm adding on on a statement. No, I'm
No.
not dating.
Yeah, you get? So
Yes,
like you're not dating. That means that I can't come to you for like, man, I'm going through this in my relationship, but however close we are.
Okay. I don't know how I can answer this. It would be first and foremost is when you're dating,
Yeah.
and then you're blinded. That's the issue.
Mm.
You're getting it. Where I'm down who can see like what's you. There's when you're really blinded that you cannot see past something. If I find somebody and seeing the girl's actually, or the boy is actually doing something, but the girl, I'm sure your level best to explain, but she can't see it. Like she can't see it.
Yeah.
You're
So like in
actually
a
blinded
toxic
by love.
relationship, but
Yes. You're getting it. And now the issue what happens there is if I come to you and make you a third party.
Yeah.
And becoming a third party, that means you have to choose a side.
But they are your boy.
You see,
Yeah.
yes, him being but what happens is if he tells me anything,
Yeah.
what's supposed to happen is either I'm not supposed to go and tell the girl.
Yeah.
You getting it?
Yeah.
But now the girl may tell me something and then I come and
tell me.
tell him. That's the issue.
So that's problematic.
That's you're choosing a side. That's where confidentiality comes in.
Mm.
Confidentiality, you only speak something out when either there's a life or death situation. That's the fun thing about confidentiality. So however much months you did something and you come and tell me, probably upon you guys, unless you two come and you speak while both you guys are there, then I respond to what you guys have spoken. You're getting all you've agreed. But pardon?
Now we can your marriage counsel.
What a married counselor.
Okay,
I have no.
based off of what you've said,
Yes.
it takes us one to the the conclusions it brings in my head.
Yeah.
We're not mature enough to be dating right now. Those are people that we see mature in their dating. You get? Which takes me to the question: is it a matter of age? Like dating, is it a matter of age? Because the people who will tell you, okay, I don't know, guys like giving those stories. Man, I met the person. I married in like 96 back. You get? Someone tells you, man, I met that person at the end of campus. You get? Obviously, there's good timing and everything.
Yes.
But is age a very big factor? Because from what you've seen, people don't have that maturity. For example, at school, you saw having a third party in a relationship was like a major thing. Like when you're annoyed with this babe, you're in a relationship with her, there has to be that third party who keeps sending messages.
Yeah, both sides.
Man, this is what is happening. But you realize that that means that these are relationships that can't survive without a third party. Because when they're having issues, like how are they going to talk
it out?
Exactly, they can't come back and talk it out.
So that's what I've told you.
Yeah.
Now, if you're dating, usually it'd be better to get advice from a married couple. Guys who actually dated, and they'll tell you.
But you see, marriage couples now, for example, you see how they persecute young guys for doing this.
That's true. That's true.
Why do you think they do so?
Because one, the mentality many of the old people have is that if young people are together, they're most likely going to be sleeping together. You get? They're going to be derailing each other. Right now, they should be focusing like on their books and stuff.
Okay, let's try to be honest here. Now I think we have blown things way out of proportion. First of all, I don't make any personal even if you want it. Okay, Edubbe is fine. Very focused. But if you don't know, it's our preacher, pastor. I think
Pastor.
There are no titles here. We are peers.
He keeps us anchored.
We are peers.
It's fine. But anyway, I feel like we're blowing things out of proportion.
Okay.
Because I don't think anyone who is dating right now needs to bring their relationship before a married
No,
couple.
then how are they going to solve it and be mature in it?
Because
if they don't have an external party that is guiding them on how to do things.
Now, the thing that you don't know about people who are dating right now is that that's why I asked last time, why are guys dating, right? And the very funny thing is that both the parties go into things when you say get into a relationship, wanting different things. That's the reality we actually don't know. But I think the reality I go to find out.
Let's talk about people who say they are serious. Their relationship. We know those people. You know some of them. They have said they are serious. So why can't they come out to their parents and be like, man, mommy, daddy,
Yes,
this is the person
this is-
I'm with right now.
Yeah.
I don't know how things are going to be in the next 10 years, but I really see a future with this person. But can you help us, like guide us, so that we don't find ourselves straying?
First of all, before you even
Uh-huh.
go very far, as imagine you picture yourself as a father in this generation.
Yeah.
Your daughter has gone outside the gate,
Mhm.
brought a guy
Yes.
to your living room. You're watching football.
Yes.
Brought the guy to your living room. I said, "This is the guy I'm dating right now."
Mm.
And those like kids.
No, listen.
Yeah.
For
Hear
that
me
guy,
out.
even for that babe.
Hear me out.
Uh-huh.
She has gone and brought the guy. And brought. See, James 1:19
Yes,
says,
sir. Like I told you guys.
listen,
Yes, sir.
says, be quick to listen, slow to speak,
Mm.
and slow to anger.
We're talking to the dad. Yes, sir.
But the key thing here, usually we want, you see, in communication, at times you need to ask, what do you hear? I can say something and you see somebody's stressed, somebody's annoyed.
Yeah.
Like, man, so you ask them, what did you hear? How did you take it? Then you find, oh, that's the way they took my message. Then you tell them, I'm sorry, but that's what I meant. So she brings the guy and introduces. Obviously, right now, your emotions are going to be running, like, what?
Exactly.
And everything. Now, you see this. That's why I'm trying to do. Emotions are running. I know if you make choices due to emotions, you have seen it before. You rush.
You rush
I know.
to crash.
Yeah?
You rush to crash.
Those are the signposts we had with the wrong spelling of crash, but I had I was hearing you. But you see, the question would be, you ask her, but why did you introduce him? You think about it. If you ask that, why did you introduce him to me?
Which wants you to know that in case he comes around, you know.
But are you seeing that question makes more sense? Why did you, other than reacting quickly, which we usually do? I'm not saying that I would also be annoyed and something.
Yeah.
But if we take time and ask, why did you? Then it's okay, fine. Why did you? Then you ask the guy, what are your intentions with?
My daughter.
My daughter. Then you call their parents also.
You guys, I don't know. Are you living it?
No, the thing is,
I'm not saying it's. You're not understanding. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying I also want to react.
Yeah.
You're not getting the point. You're not getting the point. The whole point is we take time to change. When we say we want to change our country, we want to start from outward. We start from our family.
Yeah.
That's how we're going to change it. We don't want to look far. And you also want to normalize that if my daughter can bring cannot bring a guy home. So then
she's going to go out
in secret.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And which one do you prefer?
Let me just I don't know which.
It's not. I'm trying to help you change your perspective. It's your mindset right now.
That's what you're trying. Maybe I want change because maybe I would want a girl. If the girl are getting a girl, she brings me home. We talk to the father. Everything becomes amicable.
Okay, understand. For your point is, it's not realistic.
Yes.
You get. Understand. That's true. But now, okay, let's say.
Because looking at girls who can actually bring anyone home, more or less go outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like this. If they can't bring someone home, if it's not their parents, they still have to find someone who can guide them in their what? In their relationship.
Couples. They're fellow couples.
It's
Who
hard.
have lasted for at least 3 months.
That's nice. But now that's the reason. If you ask the couple, what's the basis of their relationship? What's the reason? What's the foundation of the relationship? If friend was for lash, and also you're dating for lash, your reference point would be that a lash guy.
Yeah.
You're getting it. But if the relationship was looking to marriage, then it's okay, fine. That's why we have different. That's why we should work with our peers different. Like within, that's why there's a range within the peers. It's not maybe only our age, like five gap, 5 age difference.
5 year gap.
Yes, 5 age difference. You're getting. That means if probably like I'm 13 plus 5, okay, that's a bit wild. That one we shall plus 5. That's about 18. They can't relate there. So from 18 to like 20, yes, you're getting it. No, within those 25 obviously, ladies have married, men have not yet.
Married.
You see now that's the difference. So you can get different information now from a person who's a bit older. So that's the age group you should be working with. Now let's say if I'm 18 or 20 and I'm getting advice, I get from that who's 21 years. Now that one's the one who's slightly above me. 25, the guy who's ahead, and then the guy in between, then the guy also below.
Okay, let's go a little bit deeper now.
No problem.
because now you're talking about now relationships seeking advice from thinking from other guys who are older, right? Yeah. So now remember in a relationship it's like most likely it's like this, the dynamic is like this. A girl sees a future for this relationship, right? But mostly it's a guy who dictates what we are, what are we? Eh? Are we now from we now moved from situationship to now relationship? Are you now my boyfriend and I'm my girlfriend, stuff like that. So remember that guys don't want this to actually happen, to actually move, you know. But the guy has to dictate. Now the guy may not actually be wanting a girlfriend, or may not actually see it for the long run. Understand? Because you're going to realize something that's the unspoken truth that girls and guys get into relationships, even our age, for different reasons. Try like maybe 25. 25 is where you're going to find people looking both getting a relationship because looking for a married partner. Like that was a sure. Okay.
For girls.
For girls, for some guys.
We're still figuring
Some.
ourselves out.
Man, that's the
Some
truth.
As a man,
Okay, 30 years.
Yeah, me 30.
True, I don't know
30.
marriage.
I'm not saying I'll be married, but like 30.
Is
That's
when
when you
you're
can start
thinking about
calling me.
marriage.
Thinking about, yeah. But right now, girl may look busy thinking about marriage, but most likely a guy is not. Most guys not thinking about marriage. But if they are,
That takes me to this.
not.
Doesn't that mean that right now, all relationships where people are in the same age group are a scam?
Kinda. That's how I want to
Because
take it.
if you're telling me that you're in a serious relationship, no offense. If you're in a serious relationship right now, if you're in a serious relationship, and they could be,
Yes.
but there are factors outside. Ah man, we love each other that determine whether you're going to get what married. Okay? Because and it's a joke last time we were cracking when I said, man, me I'm going to marry a medicine woman. Because she knows she's like in 8 years, going to be in books and me I'll be building myself. Because right now, you see, first she's going to finish campus. And yes, there are those women these days who are all about, man, as you said, Miss Independent, tries to build herself. But for her, she can be thinking about, man, 25, I have to be getting married soon. And even her parents home, especially if they're traditional, will be telling her, man, yeah, they'll be throwing hints. You get, for a dude, okay, yes, they may push you to get out of home, but they won't be pushing you to get married. That means that you're seeing now how lives become different. This woman may start asking you, man, Manzi, when will you start proposing, man, before you're thinking about how to pay rent? Okay, doesn't that mean that for someone to sit down at this age and tell us, man, I'm in a serious relationship, the person they must be dating should be like in S4?
Thank you.
That's right. Now,
But that's the whole point. Like, guys never think about it, because if as a man in a marriage you're supposed to provide security, stability, and forgetting the third one. Oh my god, I've forgotten the third one. But if it comes back to men, I'll tell you. So if we are the same age, you're like, let me make it even simpler. Let's go back to school. If a Form 6 is dating a Form 4, it's quite easy. Financial support is easy. A Form 6 pocket money gives the Form 4 like 10,000
and this case,
and
it's high standard.
money did you have?
No, like gives her like 10,000.
10K what buys me not meat and some
yeah,
canteen.
Okay, but the whole point what I'm trying to say is, what I'm trying to say is, they give you little pocket money and you, for a Form 4, to be able to cope up with her or provide for her. It's not the same as a fellow Form 6.
Yeah, that's true. Standards are different.
They're different. You get it?
And you continue.
Yes.
On a general level. Yeah.
And leaving that aside, as a man, you're clearly the head of the family. Yes? Girls are supposed to submit. If you are the same age and we have gone within the same area, I may respect you, but there's no respect of, man, you're above me. However much, even if there's an age difference, but if you have worked like this and you're starting together the same day.
She saw you when you were rackers.
Like, being rackers, there's no issue with that, but there's a way I would say we are thinking the same. Like, the experience is the same. There's nothing you can tell me that I can say. You actually older than me or something I can respect. Like, I can even feel, I know the girls say they mature faster. They'll even say I'm even older than you.
Now you guys are both in a very interesting dynamic, right? The fact that most likely guys.
I'm not sure. But just wait, first hold up. I'm not sure. I heard you biology guys confirm. Is it true that girls mature faster than men?
Okay.
Scientifically.
Scientifically. First scientifically.
Scientifically. like what means answer science has so many branches. That's why I'm going past.
Okay, yes.
Psychologically, that's true. Even I think biological, should I say, like in terms of maturity, physical. Yeah. Girls are going to mature faster than guys. Even psychological, girls
But this is a
mature.
P3 guy with a beard.
But yes,
I know, man.
even psychological, those are like rare issues, like you said. But psychologically, girls will mature faster than guys. Now that you've brought in this, okay? But we have this whole dynamic where we have even guys have been told that most likely that when we're going to marry, kind of like S2, S3 right now, maybe in S1, yeah. So,
how
like 5 years minimum. Okay, 5 years, 3 years minimum.
Right? Right, someone this one.
Like we're being told. We've been told. Okay, we're told there's an age gap. Like
yes,
like you cannot actually be marrying someone who is your age right now, or even Form 6 right now. But the relationships that we're seeing are same age.
So same age.
Okay, same
Age.
class. As far as let's say class.
Even if
Okay.
just same class,
Yeah.
there's a difference of like 1 or 2 years. 2 is big, is like the biggest.
You're fine, but okay, yes.
Yeah.
But it's like our babes are aged. Like
It's okay, it's just chill.
It's fine.
Yeah.
But that's like 2 is like the biggest you'll find age gap, right? But so if you've been in the same class, it's a way that you've been brought up to think the same way. So even if someone is 18 and a guy is 20, they are almost the same. They're basically the same age.
Yeah. And that's why I told you, same experience.
So same experience. So the things that you've seen. So does that now mean what he was? Does that actually support the argument that most like 90% the relationships we're seeing are not actually going to survive?
He's right.
If even the guy in his mindset, he knows that I'm dating this baby, yes, but I know my baby I'm going to marry, like in Form 2. I'm just using this person to pass time.
You've clearly said everything. What else do you want us to add on? I'm
To
dating
pass
this
time.
babe, the person I want to marry is probably.
Like it could be
But I'm
they
here
not
to pass
say it's
time,
their babe, but in
to
their
fit in
mindset,
society. I had a lot of boredom. I wanted something to accompany me and all that.
That's not a good experience.
And experience, you know the way they say everything is there. There's a time for everything.
Yeah.
When you're in primary, I doubt other than probably exposure to the different movies you watched. There was anything related that you wanted to date. You wanted probably to be the fastest guy in school.
Which primary school?
Come on, but there's some funny primary schools you get.
What do you mean?
But like
We know you're
okay.
victim, but it's okay.
But like okay, leaving that aside, I don't know.
Yeah.
But the mindset is a bit different. Like by the time you're in primary, that's why maybe to have like friends. I'm not saying upper primary. If you want P2 now, did you want to date someone or something?
Yeah.
What was in your thing was the guy chased us from our game. Oh, you want to be part of somebody's group? They tell you give us your pencil and something like that, and you join our group. More like a society, something like that.
Yeah.
Then you keep on going. So there's a time for everything, and I believe at times we put our focus on the wrong things.
Yeah.
So when you're at school and they tell you, now when you're candidate, what do? Your focus is on everything is on hold. I ask some people,
but coping mechanisms.
But yes, you can probably try to balance everything, but you can't serve two masters at once.
Guys prove that's wrong, but easy.
I think we're going to be here for like a long time.
Yeah.
It's like a conversation we have to like table to.
But no, before we finish, I know time is going. This is I have to chip this in. Something we said last time when we just touched it was okay. I think when we are dating these days, you have to be realistic. You can't be jumping into dating when you don't have like a job.
For a guy, yes.
No, but it has to be both
parties.
Why
do you want to strain the guy?
Because remember that is one of the benefits of being in a relationship. Guy gets to buy you nice stuff.
Even before we go there.
Listen, hear me out. What is a relationship? That's why I told you, ask people's mindsets before you get to interact with somebody else. I'm supposed to provide for you, yes. But you realize even stay-at-home moms probably or something like that. As a husband probably I can make a shop. To make a shop, I put in charge of the shop. The shop is yours. Whatever day-to-day activities have to happen, or a supermarket have to happen at, let's say, home to run daily activities, the money needed.
Yeah, it's from the shop.
From the shop. Yeah. You're the one who provides. I don't care what you manage the finance and everything. You have knowledge to run things. Not that you're going to sit at home I'm going to make money and I just give you upkeep for staying at home.
Now, the thing is that your argument is right? But now we're looking at relationships from an 18-year-old.
Not even ready. No, these days now people want to say they are mature. That's why we're doing these things. You get? Yes. You get? Now I have to speak from a mature point of view, and I'm going to ask a question that is very controversial. Let us say Edubbe in a relationship. He's in a relationship. I'm in a relationship.
Yeah.
One of us, the way we treat the people we're in relationships with is based off of maybe our mindsets, our exposure, and how much money we have. But it also brings me to the question of worth. I'm very sorry to bring in that aspect.
What?
But yeah, like, can you really sit down and say, someone shouldn't be complaining, they aren't worth that expenditure? I'm very sorry to bring in that perspective, because at the end of the day, we are human beings. Life is priceless.
Just to clarify, the worth.
Yeah, because we're in this place where, for example, if Edubbe takes his babe to Zanzibar, you can know. Let us bring it out the way it was. Even though people hate me, I'm going to do a job where people hate me.
Don't know this guy.
But thinking, you saw what happened at school, right? Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah.
One person came out and did something that was explosive. I want to use that term, explosive, for the rest of the year. You get? And because you've seen that done for your friend, you believe even you deserve it. Now, obviously, it's about perception. Like, that person could have done that for that person because they view them as worthy. Like, oh man, this person, I love this person so much. I should give them everything I have. But now, also, we should come to a certain point. You can't be giving someone something they also haven't ever seen. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Like, man, someone is crying. They want you to, let us put this in a bigger perspective. They want you to take them to Zanzibar, but they have never left like Kampala.
Oh my God.
You're getting the point. Like, shouldn't there also be that justification of, man, guys, your relationships, relax. No, it's okay, but to demand it is now the issue. Yes. You have not yet received that level of exposure, and I think that's what's happening today because of like TikTok and Instagram. People have this idea of how a relationship should be because they have seen it on social media. So like, you gay, why aren't you taking me out for the weekend? Why aren't you showing up with roses? I can't forget someone asked us this question when we had gone out, and I felt it gave me a beat. The girl said, she's a good friend of mine. She said she was cracking it as a joke. Didn't know she gave us. She said, you guys, you go on dates and you're still asking the girl to show up on her own. And with these things of, man, I'm here at like District 24. Yeah. You know other places, just tell the safe border guy. She said, me, I can't go for such dates. The guy has to come and pick me up. And I was like, okay.
So he just come from his go when I judge.
Not in a judge. She has to be picked up. She will judge. Judge stuff. You have to be trying to cut A. You see, so she has already filtered people. She has said, man, bro,
that's
for
a
you,
standard.
You can come showing this and that, but if you're not driving to my place to pick me up and take me,
I thought pick me up could be like with an Uber.
Okay, maybe there's also that, but bruh, Uber is the same price as sometimes your fuel.
But what I'm trying to say, okay, I get her point. But what if I don't drive? I don't drive.
Yeah.
I don't have a car. Can't afford an Uber. That's right. But she wants to be picked up. Is it possible if you realize after that people guys actually give the lady or the girl transport back or transport there? So if I give you transport to come and go back, haven't I?
Okay, I don't know.
Ideally.
No.
Okay, so just not the same.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. If we start dating at this age, and you ideally
that's what should be happening.
That's what I should give you. I can't come and pick you up. That's not
like
ideal.
what you want me to get my dad's car to come and
yes,
pick?
exactly.
It's not mine.
That's not ideal. But me saying you transport money to and fro, that's what would look ideal. Now those are some of the things that will tell you this is not the right time for.
That's why I said something people thought I was joking. Larok, the babes that Larok hangs out with, that one world. Because tell me why, literally. That's why oh my God.
She has been absorbing content of people.
No, maybe I'm not a boyfriend she has dated.
There's also that. Like, from the past experience she has had,
she can't go
like,
back.
I cannot be going down. Like, you guys
can't be downgrading.
Those are things that can happen. Yeah. Those things, where you've been and you think that's the way it's
well, that's
Man, dude, I can't believe you guys get family background. You guys just rush.
No. Let's be honest.
That's ex-background.
The truth is, everyone wants someone who looks good.
Yes.
Obviously, now the fact that we are Christian men, you want a woman to be founded in Christian It's a Christian man.
So that's priority for everyone.
No, it's okay.
But sorry, use I now. Yes.
You get, you want that. Everyone wants this person who the baby looks good. That's the truth. You get?
She has to make us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's what men like. Men, the truth is at this age. That's an example of your posting.
So you have to be
Because
I'm sure in public.
I post then guys why I know. Okay? But then you see
Why do you people look for people validation?
I know. Because it's like,
let me tell you.
you're going to take her out. Or you're going to, like you said, you're going to post her.
Yes.
Remember, social media.
So my question is, why are you posting her? Why are you posting her?
Because you love her.
Yes.
But
Now,
you
why do
know
you care
what?
about people validation?
But people are going to attack you.
Yes. The enemy also attacks you in your life with
That's
grace.
why you love her more if she actually.
So you want so you're trying to say when you get your babe or your wife, you're going to come and first say, Edubbe. She died.
No,
You ask that question when you post.
Me the point of view I was speaking of it from what
So you're looking for people
I was speaking of
validation from people.
Not me. Do you want that?
Yes, that perspective. Yes, you're looking for validation.
Me, I was saying it from the point of you get, if you want such a woman of class, a woman of a certain standard, even if it's not physical looks, but you're like, man, look at this woman and see she's going somewhere in life. She has to be maintained. And many girls today have developed that attitude, which I can't blame them for having. Even when I have a daughter, I want her to have that level of self-respect. Like not every Tom, Dick and Harry, you get. But that now comes with expenditure. So should you sit down and swallow and be like, man, I want, but it's okay. Let me leave. I can't afford.
You know, we have those Avengers, those hunters are going to be like, even if may want that, they're going to be like, okay, she may want this, but I'll find a way of like confusing.
Because I think as a strain, a relationship shouldn't strain you, isn't it? Like every time, man, because you still as a dad, you're still living under her father's roof. You can't be calling me to do some things your dad should be doing. Okay? So that also brings the question of, now what should I be giving you? Because the things your dad is going to do for her. And I think that's what brings that idea of, man, you can't be coming, sending a self-judge to pick me. Because at the back of her head, she's like, man, my dad is doing for me this. Do for me something new. And bruh,
like our guys said, family background, right? You have to
these are the ones you want.
research. And the ones you want, because you can't have.
Wait,
The ones that you want,
so
you can't have.
So you know they keep on asking of whether between looks and personality, what would you take?
Obviously, now we're going for marriage, isn't it?
No, which is first priority?
It's like a person's personality, man. Like as a woman, they may have looks, but you can't stand being next to them.
All of us want personality, but
see, like obviously it's hard. I'm not going to say that's the things about
It lies
like,
in the hands of the big
it is hard and difficult.
Yeah.
Even friendships, we have our hard times, we have our good times. There's when we quarrel, there's when we don't. That is a friendship. So who tells you when you get into something you're not going to have any issues? You're getting it? And it's because you've seen society. That's why people need to have your basis of what you're going to. When you're going to do something, you have your basis like, this is what I'm standing with, this is what I'm standing for, this is my platform. If I post my baby, it's because I love her. It's not because I want people to see her. I mean, on me, I love her, that's the reason why. Whatever comments they make, they'll make them, not their judge. Even other people, and people sometimes really attack. Now imagine, let's say Ronaldo and Messi, let's say all are different celebrities. How many things happen in that comment section after something has happened? Oh, penalty, what, Penaldo, what, yeah, you only take penalties, you can't score any other goals. Now, if I decide to leave what I'm doing, and I start focusing on the comments,
and I told you the reality.
Guys, I know. Also, girls can be, let's say, the whole day, you get compliments. And then one guy just tells you,
but
you
remember,
have bad eyes. And she's depressed because of the bad eyes. Because, man, she starts looking at herself, so I actually have bad eyes, what?
But you know, also, there is that in a relationship, I think it's even one of the things that people get part of a relationship, the fact we're able to actually post and show the fact that they are cuffed. That's something also girls be looking at.
Yeah.
They want that, I'm with this guy, we're together,
Yes.
let's show off that guy and everything.
Yes.
But what you're showing off.
Other people don't have
when people are getting married, and people are thinking for you, there as a child.
No, that's the thing.
That's a different thing.
When you-
No,
I
what
feel
I'm
like
asking is when they're getting married, when you're seeing them, and you're like, but this guy, how did he like this babe?
By the
But
way.
this, yes, you will be having those questions. But when do you think if those boys will actually tease you about it or something like that, this will happen. Even the babe, they may actually tease her. But why do you think for them they don't break? Because they know the reason why they're under that. Their foundation is different than what you want to base on society. If we move with society, what's the trend now? What's trending now? You will not put on your shoes, you will not drive your car, you will not put on your clothes.
True.
Because you want to follow that.
The trend.
A trend.
Yeah.
You're getting it? You set your own standards.
Yeah.
That's the key thing. Not society set your standards.
Yeah.
Have something. Maybe if I'm following the Bible, that's what I'm going to place. If I'm looking up to this guy, maybe if you're looking up to a celebrity, Drake, Michael B. Jordan, what he does is what I do. You have a basis of something. Not wind blows. So even those who are basing off society, go with society. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So it's up to you. What is my basis of everything?
Bambi, okay.
I almost looked at our.
But anyway, I feel like this now is something that just needs to be left to the public for them to decide.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's your choice.
Because now
Choice.
there are rocks babes who are like, hey,
You're using a wrong
please
word.
and thank you.
You're using a wrong word. Because if you knew, within your society, there are also those babes are also there. So don't say Larok.
These guys are on another level.
Maybe she just confides in him. For you don't confide in him.
By the way,
That's a confusion what you say. They are there within
That's why I said
us.
rocks babes.
They are not the
So they can
That's a
confide
wrong
in
statement.
I'm allowed to be
Yes,
scapegoat.
allowed.
I'm
Yes,
just sure.
allowed.
But anyway, I've almost used an hour.
Yeah, guys would drink.
But all is well. All is well, as we have said.
Mm.
The key things we're supposed to say is we should actually maintain and treasure, because it's a covenant with God. That's the first thing. If you really want to please God, you should actually keep your virginity. Another thing that it says, if you're going through something as sin and you find it hard to overcome it or to stop it, is because you ask yourself the question, is your love for God greater than the love for the sin? You're getting it? So if you really love somebody, you try to keep your covenant. If your mom tells you, I want you to pass, and you're at school, and you love your mom, you're at school, you're playing, and you first remember. Because obviously you have to have constant reminders. That's why in the book also says renew our minds constantly, like in the Bible says, continuously renew our minds. Because you can forget, slip up. But if you have daily devotion, it's the way it keeps you reminded. So you're playing and you're like, I love my mom. And my mom said, please pass. So either have to choose your love for your love for the mom. Which one is greater? If you love your mom greater, then you will do that. That's why it says you can't have two masters at once. Either you treat somebody greater than the other, one will come first priority, then the other will come second. So as we are saying, the reason maybe we should treasure our virginity is not because probably if society, me I've read in my word and it has said so. You come saying, yeah, what I say? What's your basis for you gay? Why you gay? No, I'm not gay. Why do you keep your virginity? The Bible clearly says this and this. This is my basis. That's the reason why I'm doing so. For you, why are you sleeping gay? Because people say, okay, you continue with your people validation. Me, I am.
Yeah, so just people should just stick to what
They know. Let them look for their where they derive whatever they say, their foundation.
Yeah.
That's it. And think it through, but why am I doing so? Does it really make sense? Think twice. Does it really make sense doing so? Then another thing was sugar daddies and all that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Because that's another.
That may be for another day.
Let me judge you. Before we even go there.
You want to judge
Wait,
us?
no, where to go?
Your babes, eh?
No.
When are your babes
No,
are
I wanted to report. Yeah.
Why are you putting this
before-
gay? You are against me, but
No, because
what did you do to this game?
I don't know,
because
man.
the guy said so many things. I just say yeah.
The good thing, the episode was on YouTube, so if he's lying,
Yeah.
the episode is
You
there.
will know.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we were talking about the sugar daddy thing, right?
Yes.
And we're saying how it's going to actually thrive in conscience.
You said thrive.
Yeah, for many girls, it is going to make
It's
sense.
going
Thrive.
to
Why do
be.
you, oh no, just to sorry, but why do you think so?
Yeah.
Why do you think it's going to thrive?
First of all, many girls are coming from a place of they want freedom.
Yeah.
You get?
Mm.
And sugar daddies are going to give them their understanding of freedom. What they are going to finance that freedom. You get? We're talking about girls who are coming from homes where, man, you don't leave. You get? Now they're going to be in hostel or campus, and they're going to be able to move. You get? And the sugar daddies are going to be able to give them that money to
Move. People are getting it from their fathers.
Yes.
Because these are stories that we actually see happening. We are speaking from the small research we have made of what goes on in campus. You
Yes.
get? And the truth is, there are girls who you will sit in your class with her, and you will see her for the first week, and you won't see her again for the rest of the semester. Yeah, because for now, man, the truth is she's making money.
Never
Okay? She's making money you're not making, so she doesn't see the essence of coming to class anymore. She doesn't see the essence of suffering anymore because she has a guy who's continuously giving. And the thing is this, that guy will not be sleeping with her every day.
Yeah.
Sleep with her like once a month, once in 2 weeks. You get? So for what she feels like, it's not that much of a deal.
It's a small.
Especially if I'm not constructing a disease.
What do you call it?
Small price to pay.
Yeah, small price to
You
pay
get?
for.
So that's the mindset many people are having, unfortunately. So that's why, for many, the truth, it's going to thrive. Many believe it's an opportunity now. They're going to have the latest phones, latest shoes, latest all that stuff. Obviously, now that's for those who don't have the Christian moral compass.
I like the Christian, but it's not a Christian. It's just somebody standing upon their values, and they're not going to compromise them.
And also now, before even, because now you're going to give us a lot of content. Also, because when you start, but you have your content.
From where?
But also,
Yeah.
realize that now what he's talking about, some people may not, there are like 3 groups of now girls we're going to deal with. Because there are some who don't know about, who have not had exposure to the pressure of sugar daddy, or like they haven't actually seen how the pressure that older men are going to have on them.
Problems are going to talk about a topic about girls and getting. There's no girl here to defend themselves, but it's okay.
But no, man,
So we let it be until
I
we
feel like we
finally
have challenge
have-
because
yes.
we're going to speak from
I think
our perspective.
yes, I think that's
Yeah.
right. If we
Yeah.
let it be until we finally have a girl around so that we can be able to give her perspective.
Because we may be biasing them. You get?
we're going to say something.
If there are other reasons as to why.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Then
So we just chill the topic.
yeah, we'll just
Chill
consider
that
it for
one.
now. It's
Okay.
another time. Yeah.
So now
I think that's it. by the
that's
way.
it.
For
That's
it's
it
a very
that's it
big
for now,
topic.
because
But
now
we have taken over an hour.
okay. So this is now paused for now.
Yeah.
We'll bring a female back. We'll bring a female on board.
Yes.
So we shall ask them. We shall first put them in the hot seat. They first tell us what is your opinion about it. Be able to know, be able to be informed. We also want to learn about these things.
You want to learn about this?
I want to understand why they do
You want to be
Maybe
exposed.
experience.
Learn about these
We
things.
don't have any experience.
Use your words right. Learn to
Learn.
be exposed.
Want to gain information. Hear their point of view.
Exposed. Learn.
Yeah. Because I feel like it's very necessary. Yeah. So I think that's it for this episode, right?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, we're very, very happy to have you now, sir. Yeah. You actually dodged us last
So
time.
now let me get this straight. At the beginning,
You dodged us.
other guys. Now at the end, it's lovely to have you, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bit lovely.
In the best kind
I was told
Like
you.
it's okay. So thank you so much for listening again. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to our channel. Follow us on our platform. That's catalyst _UG. So that you never miss anything. Yeah. Till next time.
And just in case of any other topics you want us to discuss, please feel free to comment. And yeah, we shall indulge in it. We shall make research with what we have. I shall give you our feedback from our different fields. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So I think that's a conclusion of episode 1, part 2.